Hello and welcome back to Quarterlight, your car brochure channel, and in today's episode, the Talbot Matrarancho. Hello and welcome back. Now if you're new to Quarterlight, we're a car brochure channel here on YouTube, looking at car brochures from around the world for the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s and sometimes beyond that as well. So if you're interested in cars, car brochures, looking back at cars gone by, really the channel is all about memories, please consider subscribing. It is all completely free. Okay, so recently, I don't know if everyone knows this, but we started doing an episode on Tuesdays called Take Two Tuesdays, where we give a brochure a bit of a second chance, a second look at some of our very early brochures we looked at. Today, no exception at all, we're going to take a second look at, and sorry for reaching over, the Talbot Matrarancho. Now, this particular brochure we looked at probably about 2.5 years ago, very early on in the Quarterlight, when we were trying to work out what we're doing. We didn't have an ability to zoom in on any of the pictures, and really it was very much a distance look at this brochure with lots of facts and figures, and certainly that those original videos had way more facts than what we do today. So really Quarterlight now, we really just concentrate on the brochure and the facts the brochure's telling us, rather than picking facts and figures out from my brain and spewing them all out rather nervously. So we've kind of like simplified the process, but also have that ability to look at the pictures and look at the brochure a little bit better now. That original brochure, if you want to know, let me just have a look. It got 227 views, 24 likes, 2 comments, and to date has made 37 cents. I think we can do a little bit better. But what I think I'll start doing for these Take Two Tuesday, I think at the end of this episode, I'll do a link to that original episode, and you judge, have we improved? Have we lost some of them great facts that we used to throw out? Is it better or worse, basically? But anyway, let's start. We'll throw the brochure on the board and start having a look at it now. So here is today's brochure. At the top there, proudly saying Talbot Rancho. This is a 1981 brochure for the UK. Let's zoom in on that main image. And there is the front end as we zoom in to the Talbot Matrarancho front end of this vehicle. Talbot Matra on that bonnet there. Lots of lights, could be the theme. They've really gone for that off-road look, but remember, these were only available as 2-wheel drive. Press at the time didn't understand that whatsoever. But we've later discovered really that this was way ahead of its time, and I think that's why a lot of people didn't understand it, or certainly the press didn't understand it. Of course, today you can buy SUVs that look a little bit off-roady but are only 2-wheel drive, can't we? So very much ahead of its time, really. The looks of an off-road machine without the cost of it, I think, is what they were going for. But I always really liked the looks of these. I remember in my sort of junior school, I always remember some kid being dropped off in one of these. I always thought what a wonderful machine they are, and they do look amazing, particularly when you're a kid. Not many around today, unfortunately. I think rust has got the better of them. Anyway, let's open the brochure up and see what we've got inside. So there we go, a look inside the brochure. It's only a very simple sort of like 4-sided piece of paper actually for this particular brochure, but still a nice one. Some really nice images here. I think we're going to start over there and read this text, and at the bottom here it starts talking about standard features. So let's learn a little bit more about these. It tells us at the top here, Rancho is a tough, capacious vehicle which will cruise effortlessly all day and do all the chores without sacrificing the quiet comfort, performance and running costs of a conventional car. Rancho's powerful 1442cc engine, now with electronic ignition, offers improved fuel economy and is equal to many saloon cars with up to 35.3 miles per gallon at a constant speed of 56 miles per hour. I remember, the constant 56 miles per hour is kind of like the best it's going to do. So I don't think fuel economy was its strong point, but I don't think aerodynamics was its strong point either. Anyway, it goes on to tell us the rugged Rancho body is protected by very large and effective bumpers and side mouldings. The body itself has a strengthened floor pan, sheet steel front section, and the rear is glass fibre, reinforced polyester on a metal frame. It all makes for lightness, toughness, extra strength and ease of repair. And again, forward-thinking car using these alternative materials. The interior is very comfortable, fully equipped and functional too, with reclining front seats, split rear seat squab, and new for 1981, a fold-down rear-facing bench seat. Seating for 6. Alternatively, the Rancho can be used as a load-carrying vehicle. Loading is easy with the split tailgate, giving 4 ways of accommodating luggage and a maximum load space nearly 7 feet long, with rear seats down. Fitted with a laminated windscreen and 2-speed wipers with flick wipe, the Rancho is fully equipped for work in all weathers. There is a heated rear screen fitted with intermittent wash wipe, halogen headlamps, auxiliary driving lamps and wing mounted lamps. The improved dual circuit braking system, discs front, drums rear, is servo assisted. Take a test drive in a Rancho. It combines specialist vehicle performance, estate versatility and saloon comfort into an exciting new way of motoring. So it then tells us the Rancho standard features, so a 1442cc 80 din BHP engine, protective undershielding, electronic ignition, seating for 6, split rear seat squab, fold down rear facing bench seat with head restraints, auxiliary driving lamps, wing mounted lamps, bronze tinted glass, push button radio, rear tow bar with ball hitch and electric socket, and a 185x14 radial ply tyres. So only the standard features saying that's a rear tow bar and ball hitch and electric socket. How many vehicles come standard with that piece of kit? That's certainly a little bit unusual, and particularly when you say it's only a 1442cc petrol engine. I wouldn't imagine it would be the ideal tow car anyway, but let's have a look at the images. So there it is, in all its glory. I do like all those lights on it. I do like all those protective mouldings. Again, very much ahead of its time, That's like a kind of like today SUV kind of like vibe. I don't think the ground clearance is the best, but then it's got that underbody protection. I'm sure, like modern SUVs, none of these ever actually went off-road, and I'm sure they would very easily get stuck anyway, but certainly looks the part. In this particular picture, it's outside this marketplace antique dealers. They always liked a nice estate, didn't they, for moving all furniture around and bringing it back to their store. This is an alternative, I guess they're saying. Typically, we'll probably see a Volvo estate here, maybe a Citroen CX estate. And I guess that's the sort of vehicle it was competing against, that sort of similar price range, because they weren't exactly cheap vehicles, actually, these, but what would you go for? Would you have gone for something like this, a little bit alternative towards those big estates, those more traditional estates you could get? Anyway, let's have a look at some more images. There's the interior. It looks quite simple. I mean, there's no rev counter on there, but for the time, I'm sure that's probably what you kind of like expected. But like I say, it wasn't exactly a cheap vehicle. You'll also notice this sort of light. You just about make out where the light is on the side there. I'm sure that took a little bit of visibility away, and also the wipers pointing the wrong way. I guess they didn't change the wipers over for right-hand drive vehicles. And then of course you get this strange wiping performance where it leaves a lot of the screen unswept around this area. I don't know how Hubnut would feel about that. Although maybe you would like the rear wiper. We do at least get a rear wiper. But I seem to feel, you know, what did he used to say about these wipers when they parked at the top? They parked at the top and then they dribbled down. I don't know. Watch Hubnut. He's got lots of ideas about windscreen wipers. Moving the screen down, there is that standard piece of kit. Very unusual, like I say, to have a standard rear turbo with electrics all in place and not ticking that box to say you want it. Very unusual. Maybe possibly unneeded. Maybe that was better as an optional extra. I can't imagine many people using this as a tow vehicle. This, I think, is a clever idea though. We've got sort of rear facing seats in the back and they all fold down to give you lots of space. So this looks like they're all folded down. This one over here looks like they're all folded down apart from the middle row, which has got that split on there. Also, we've got this sort of Range Rover-esque hatch that opens two ways and kind of provides you with a nice little seat to watch whatever or have a picnic. But yeah, I mean, that's a clever little idea. Nothing new, of course, nothing innovative on that. Range Rover have done this for years by this time, but of course a Range Rover will be way more expensive. Looking at some more images, yeah, weirdly it is sort of like a two-door car, so you do have to fold the seat to get to that second row, which is unusual to say. You know, it's a six-seater, but we've only got essentially these two doors. Obviously you've got the back you can climb into, but a little bit unusual setup. I do like the seats though, and this sort of like plaid insert in the centre. They do look quite nice. I'm thinking the carpet, I don't think there is a carpet there, is there? Were there just mats for easily washed down? If so, that's not a bad idea. This is rather a nice little image though, isn't it? Showing all the seat positions there. And like I say, now in 81 we've got these rearward facing seats, which seem to be kind of like the bit of the rage around about the early 80s, but nice that, you know, a six-seater car. I would imagine only sort of smaller people for those very back seats though. Nice to see that little bit of a Rancho emblem on the top there. Like I said, I do like the seats in this sort of like plaid in the centre trim. I think they do look quite good. And also when I'm looking at it from this angle, it is giving me Land Rover Discovery vibes. You know, the early Discoveries certainly reminds me of this, those lights on the back there. And over these little magical see-through images showing, you know, seats in place and, you know, all that luggage in there. And then, of course, you know, all the seats folded down for that really very much like a van type antique dealer setup there, where you can put all your furniture in the back there. And also you've got this little bit of an area to throw things on the roof if needed. Although I always think the main image with these vehicles that added the seats in the back, if you're going on holiday, a driving holiday, and I presume you would because with the kids, where would you put any of the luggage? I'm not sure. I guess up here maybe a little bit. You're not going to get tons in there though, are you? But anyway, overall a very interesting vehicle, and sadly I don't think there's too many still around today. Like I say, I think rust was a big issue with these. On the back page now, and pretty much a page that was pretty much ignored on the original video, but it's important, it's an unusual car, so we should really learn about how this was specified, so let's zoom in on those specifications. So it tells us about the engines. The engine's a 4-cylinder 5-bearing crankshaft unit with aluminium alloy cylinder head. Cubic capacity 1442cc, 80 bhp at 5600 rpm. Ignition system, of course, it's a 12 volt ignition with alternator charging. Cooling, water cooled, of course, closed circuit with expansion bottle, electrically operated cooling fan. Transmissions, front wheel drive, 4-speed, all synchromesh gearbox with centre floor gear change lever. Single dry plate clutch with hydraulic operation from pendant pedal. Now I think this is the part where, you know, The press at the time really didn't understand this. Why does it look so off-roady and then only be front-wheel drive? Well, most people, well, I say a lot of people like that sort of off-road look, but never go anywhere off-road. So really it makes sense, and really that is what the modern SUV is, really, isn't it? Moving down, front suspension, independent by torsion bars, telescopic shock absorbers, anti-roll bar. Rear suspensions and independent by torsion bars, telescopic shock absorbers, anti-roll bar. Steering is rack and pinion. Turning circle at 10.6 meters or 34 feet 8 inches. Brakes, that disc drum setup that we talked about. Wheels are styled pressed steel. Spare wheel located under load area. Tyres 185 by 14 radial ply. Petrol tank 60 litres. And then the instruments saw speedometer with odometer, trip recorder, water temperature gauge, fuel gauge, warning lights for ignition oil pressure, trafficator, low fuel lever, side lamps, main beam brake failure. And then it lists the standard equipment, so moulded bumpers, body side protection, front crash bar, laminated windscreen, bronze tinted glass, 2-speed wipers, intermittent tailgate wash wipe, heated rear window, halogen headlamps, auxiliary driving lamps, wing mounted lamps, rear fog lamp, reversing lamps, hazard warning flashes, 2 exterior door mirrors, dipping rear view mirror, roof rack, locking petrol cap, inertia reel front seat belts, passenger tip slide front seat head restraints, recline front seats, fold down split rear seat, fold down auxiliary rear facing bench seats including head restraints, front parcel shelf, glove box, cigar lighter, 1 front and 2 rear armrests, clock, push button radio, rubber floor covering, protected under shielding, rear tow bar including ball hitch and electrical socket. I think overall not badly equipped, but you did have to pay for it. I mean, it wasn't exactly a bargain basement car. It also tells us we get a diagnostic plug and the dimensions, which you can see there, but I'm not really going to talk too much about that. The weights and the maximum towing trailer weight braked, and the load floor length. Doesn't sadly give us a colour chart, but it does tell us the paint colours and trim. So russet or bronze metallic with an oatmeal trim with Melrose cloth inserts, Angora white or silver mist metallic with grey trim with Melrose cloth inserts, metallic paint optional at extra cost. I think most of them that I ever saw were in that russet or that bronze metallic colour. Moving down, tells a bit about the warranty and the major servicing requirement of 10,000 miles or 12 months. And an oil change and brake fluid check at every 5,000 miles or 6 months. We then get these rather nice little drawings with the dimensions on there. Bit of an idea of what the ground clearance is. And then from the rear, it then does give us some more fuel economy figures. So simulated urban driving, we're doing 28.8 miles per gallon. Constant 56, 35.3, and a constant 75 we drop all the way down to 24.6 miles per gallon, but I'm sure that's a lot to do with that very square-sided, very unaerodynamic shape. At the bottom here we get the sort of the small print. So Matrarancho cars are manufactured by Matra, France. Service and parts are assured throughout the UK by approximately 550 qualified Talbot dealers. And then right at the bottom there it gives you the address: Talbot Motor Company Limited, PO Box 46, London Road, Coventry, and then the date there, August 1981, and the reference number, which is C9616-1-100, and then finally over there on the right hand side our little Talbot badge. So there you go, the little Talbot Matrarancho, an interesting car. I actually think I had like a little Matchbox toy of these with the opening back on it as well, but I always thought there was like a fascinating vehicle. I think they sold reasonably well actually in the UK, so they did, really attract that sort of like off-road look buyer that didn't really want to go off-road, which, like I said, SUVs today have kind of like used that and gone from strength to strength. Many two-wheel drive SUVs around today, of course. But thank you so much for watching today on this Take 2 Tuesday, where we had a second look at this Talbot brochure. I will add a link at the end of this episode for the original version, which give you way more facts, but not really a very good look at the brochure itself. But we'll end by saying, please do consider subscribing. It is all completely free, as is liking, and very much helps both me to grow the channel, give you better content, and easier for you to find the content as it comes through. We'll end with this lovely image of this Rancho as we go out, and this is where the box is going to pop up for the original brochure review for the Rancho and another episode, which I'm not even sure what I'm going to put on there, but there'll be 2 boxes there for sure. But we'll end by saying thank you so much for watching today. Please do take care. We'll see you very soon, and goodbye.